Nyke Nitti on the slap. Tell them. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah, what's happening?
Shit. Let me try to get this. Let me get my screen right. There we go. All right. Shit. Hey, you know what? Matter of fact, to start this off, before we get into any questions, I'm glad that you got your drink there because people don't know how much work it takes to really put out an album. Like kids, like people put out singles all the time, but you from the album era and you still, you know, putting out albums, and it takes a lot of work. So before further ado, before we get to this interview, what I'm gonna do is pop my bottle, pop my top right here to
Modelo.
and salute the Modelo. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just like that. And it's smoking like some champagne. You feel me? Did you hear that pop?
Uh-huh.
So cheers to Nyke Nitti.
Word up.
Cheers to this album. If you a Denver music fan, if you a rap fan and you haven't heard this and this is your first time, your introduction, you're gonna pop a bottle with us after you hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man.
cheers to that before we go forward.
Word up, word up.
So the first project, like, you know, I have to say, I'm astonished at the beats. I'm astonished because a lot of guys who maybe came out in the 90s or whatever, it's hard for them to stay dipped in like what's young. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you took your solid blueprint for the songs and production, and you just kept it updated with like funky new sounds, new stuff. So salute to just like the production level. I think that so many people, anybody who probably hears your beats is like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because the leads are nice, the drums are sharp, like the snares are snappy. You know what I mean? It's very crisp. And I really, really appreciated that album. So that first one was already, if you haven't heard it and you're catching this interview, tell them the name of the first one.
The name of the first one is IssNykeNittiOnDaSlappTellEm. That's it. It's just that. And this too is IssNykeNittiOnDaSlappTellEm, no games. So the first disc has 15 songs. The lead single was Cuddy Bang, Understand. That was the lead single. And then we came with Max Out with Attack, Rob Jetson, and Trapper Boy GMB.
Right, and that beat, especially that one right there, gave me the stank face, like bitter beers.
Ooh, yeah, that Max Out goes stupid.
And that thing knocks too. Like, so for car lovers, I think that's something that's not as appreciated as our era. Like, I'm from the era where people had them Honda Civics with 15 in the back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
DJ Magic Mike and shit. You know what I'm saying? And Too Short, like that type of bass. And a bass is nice nowadays, but I don't feel like people cater to the bass much more than like Big Crit or some of the Southern artists. But I appreciated it the way that song knocked in the system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and those guys, they did their job. You know, Attack. You know, he's a beast. You know, he's been killing shit all year. Trapper and Guap Jetson, they've been killing shit. So, you know, I had to just make that connection with Aurora and the West Side. You know, and keep it unified around the city, you know?
No doubt. And then so let's talk about this. It's Nyke Nitti on the SlappTellEm, no games. So tell me who's on this project particularly.
On this project, shit, damn. Yeah, and on this project, you got Flawless Money, you got TC Crook, Never Seen, you got Let Loose, you got Amnesia and Torian, you got Cuddy Bang, you got B Black and Titanic, you got Vamp Dog. You ain't heard Vamp Dog's name in some time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did this process happen though? Like, did you make all the beats and then you're like, I'm gonna pick who I want, or was it just kind of like who was around? Like, talk to us about like the process of selecting who goes on what and how that comes together.
Man, well, let me tell you how it started. You remember the Eat This Beat competition that we did?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, 2 years ago we put out a project called Eat the Beat Volume 1, where they took a lot of producers, yourself, Mohi, and other producers, and had different groups of squads rap over the same beats and see what they produce differently.
Yeah, so when we did that, I built a lot of more artist connections because I know a lot of people, but I built more artist connection from that,
Okay.
from that
From those
project.
those sessions, just get like kind of connected a few people.
Yeah. So I have beats that people weren't picking. They were picking everybody else's beats. They weren't picking my beats at the time. And I was like, damn, I got more work to do. That's what I'm thinking. Like, damn, my shit ain't hot yet. So I just kept making beats, and then I started sending beats to those same guys that I was working with and Eat this beat.
Okay.
And then I would just have them come to my house. We would record it. I'd mix it, and then looked up. I had 45 songs.
Damn.
Over a year.
This is kind of like for anybody who's watching this that don't understand the transition. You're an artist. You actually might be the first rapper in Colorado that I really remember like copping the CD and it looking like some mainstream shit.
Oh yeah, major.
Like you're a staple. And Nyke Loc at the time, like if you was in the streets, like during the Pure Devotion, Black Hole Posse, those type of days, Nyke Loc was the top rapper in Colorado, bar nobody. So was this part of the transition moving to being a producer? Like, was that part of your practice, was just getting these guys in to like, manipulate the track a little bit more? Or were you already feeling confident with your beats?
I started feeling confident when I would have them come to my house and we would start the session and I would just play a bunch of beats and they would be like, wow, you made all these? I was like, yeah. And then I would like pick one and then they would just pick the one that they liked and we would just record it.
And these were kind of like your first batch of like, these are the ones I grinded out for the last few months just being in the studio. So were you surprised at their reaction to your beats?
Oh man, I was very surprised because I was like, now they feeling me because they wasn't feeling me before, but now they feeling me because I guess it was I had to get them alone just to hear the sound because sometimes it's too many producers playing beats at once to really just hone in on what you like.
I know what you're saying. Plus let's keep it real. Your brother Mo, he's a vet. He got some crazy slaps. So when you were starting off producer and you playing next to him, it's like
exactly.
They gonna go, oh yeah, I want that one. I need that.
Exactly. TC Crook, I'm playing with the TC Crook and Moheeds, SO,
Yeah.
Even Chef Premier, Chef Premier even did some shit. He did the lead single before Bag, That's Chef
nice,
Premier.
nice. Yeah, I still play that joint. I didn't even know that was Chef.
Yes,
but again, so you had to get them alone kind of to get in their vibe, put the headphones on, hear it, and you already, how many beats at the time did you already have in the bag?
I make beats daily.
Okay.
So I couldn't say it was just this many beats.
You just had a lot.
I just had a lot of beats, and whenever somebody came through, I would give them some, or I would send them a batch, and then they would be like, "This is what I got." I sent the batch to Flawless, and me and Flawless did a EP called "Respect It or Check It." Right. I did all the beats, and Flawless Money's on the.
So that's how many beats. Just to give it a scope, that's how many beats you had.
Yeah, the project from the era that I did with me and Dreddy.
Right.
I produced all of that. Them is all my tracks.
That's what's up. So you're not like, see, you could tell your business acumen because most young guys, they start off, they make some beats and they go, man, I'm trying to get my beats out. Like I meet them and I'm trying to get my beats. And I'll go to their studio and they got 300 beats. And I'm like, how are you trying to get beats out? Like, are you sending them to artists or, and they don't know what to do. But you as an artist, you already knew, okay, I got to get the artists in here, rap on these, do this, put some projects together. So you already 3-4 projects deep and you still just like, in terms of being a producer, you're still coming up. Even though you a rapper, you already did it. As a producer, to be coming up, you already got 4 projects in the bank and a 5th one coming. That's work ethic, right?
Yeah. And that's not including IssNykeNittiOnDaSlappTellEm. IssNykeNittiOnDaSlappTellEm is a triple disc. It's 45 songs.
Oh wow. Okay. So man, so we talking almost you're almost to like 7 or 8 deep first couple years.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
Plus,
if you're watching this
I got
and you're a
stuff that
rapper,
people are even sitting on. People haven't even dropped stuff that we've been working on. Torian got a whole album. Day got a whole album. I produced.
wow.
Yeah, I got. Like I'm in here every day. This is my gym.
Right.
This is my
So
gym.
you hearing it here. Nyke Nitti about to flood the streets Gucci
Oh
Man
man,
style.
Gucci Man style. Have to do it, man. Nothing but slap too. Nothing but slap.
Hey, so
Like
let's
that
talk about
new one.
let's talk about the new one. So what is gonna be the first song, like the first song y'all pushing off that?
That No Games. But the first song that we released is the Cuddy Bang Keep Calling. That's out. That's out also. But that was the first one that we released.
But that's on this project.
That's on this project also. Yes.
Okay.
And but No Games is the second single, but we're putting a real hard push on that, man, because it's just hot. It's just
so
summertime.
that's the Eastside Jewy, Mike T, and who else?
Colorado Miracle. Colorado Miracle.
You know, and that's actually a solid little circle of guys, because Mike T has so many different styles, but my favorite style is that slick pimp talk Mike T. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got him in that mode where the hook is just him just being that slick Mike T, not over gospeling or over singing. He just that slick talk. You feel me? And Colorado Miracle, in my opinion, is one of the top guys that's doing it right, that I could share with people and say, this is a dude you should check out. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely. So, they all dope, man. I held on to that beat probably about 3 months, and I just had a hard time figuring out what artist I wanted on it. I sent Jewy 2 other beats, and then I had sent Mike T that beat for the No Games.
Right.
And then Mike T laid his hook, and then Jewy heard it. And he was like, man,
because they friends.
Because they friends, yeah.
They share music, they're friends.
Yeah. So Jewy heard it, and he was like, I like them other beats that you sent, but I got something for this right here.
Right.
And I was like, all right, go ahead and lay it down, and then we'll go from there. So he laid it down. He sent his part. Now I'm agonizing on who's going to do the last verse. So I got Little Bad, I got L Keys, and I got Miracle in my mind.
So you loaded. You like the Yankees.
Oh yeah, I got the guys, because I know the song is pretty hot. I'm thinking to myself that this shit might work. So I sent a song to Lil Bad and L Keys without nothing on it. No hook, no verse on that. Just the song, just the music.
Right.
And they hollered back at me, but they didn't record anything.
Right. You know how rappers are, they busy, they couldn't get in the studio, they wasn't.
Yeah.
But Jewy was sitting at home like Jewy was sitting at home like, okay, let me go in my garage, hit this thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? To pause you right there, I think that's one of the biggest problems with Colorado as a whole, and probably most regional places, is that people know how to record songs, but they don't produce records, right? But you being a vet in the game, you said, these are my beats. I get to pick who's on it. Sometimes you send the same beat to 5 people and see somebody send me something hot.
Yeah.
If you all send something hot, I got a good problem. It probably ain't going to happen. You're probably going to get 2 of them that go, okay, and get it back to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the nature of producing a record, is Mike T laced the hook. Once him and Jewy heard it, the juices start flowing, and now you're like, I just need to put a nail in it.
Put the stamp on it. So the last guy that I had was Miracle, because I know what he can do. He's cold. And I didn't think he was gonna do what he did, but it was dope. Right. I was like, yeah, he nailed it.
Right. So speaking of that, there's a video. Y'all just shot it with 8 the Skate. What was that, Sunday?
Yeah,
Sunday, right? Sunday.
Yeah,
I slipped through that thing because, you know, I just love, like, you know, the East Side. If you was in the East Side, or if you ever took a trip to the East Side prior to the light rail, that shit was an adventure. That shit was an adventure. Like, if you made it out without the cops fucking with you, a dog chasing you, someone tripping, setting on you, or something, like, you got lucky. So, like, you know, I love when the people of the East Side are doing shit there. And it was such an interesting thing because as y'all are shooting, you see a white person fly by, and then you see some Mexicans, and then you see some old school players still from the East Side. So it's like bringing that energy back to the town is important. It's almost historical preservation in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, and we, you know, at this time and point, you know, we got to be united on everything that we do. Everything from the town, we all should be pushing just because we need to. You know,
No
it's
doubt.
been enough of this hamster wheel. We need to make something out of this.
I think part of it is what you're doing though. Like you have to set the bar. So like, you know, if we see Trev Rich and he gets on Hip Hop DX, or you know his numbers are hitting or something like that, and that's your comp, that's your peer, you can't do nothing less. You shooting for that. I gotta get that next.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even you,
yeah.
by putting this shit out and doing the videos right and doing what you're doing, you pushing the artist who's coming to step to you to go, look, we put work into this. This ain't no hobby. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So who else? So what else you got? Like, tell us about some of the other hidden gems you got on this project that people are gonna love.
They definitely gonna like the Meezy and Torian. That's for lyricists. If you're a lyricist, that one's for you right there.
Now wait, hold on real quick, because on the first one, there's a joint by, it's number 2. It's by Shy Rico and Torian, and I have to say, like, no disrespect, Torian's my guy. I helped work his last single. That's the best version of Torian I've ever heard, was on that song with Shy Rico. Like, I don't know what you did in the studio with him, but he was so on point with that hook. You know what I mean? Just like that hook was just so snapping. I was like, wow, like it almost didn't sound like Torian. I was like, wow. And I fuck with Torian, so that's saying something. Like, not that's a compliment. Like, yo, I don't know what you did, but you had him on point. And that song, for anybody who loves boom bap lyrics, that shit was snapping to jump it off with.
Yeah, that all cap. See, those guys, they came over. They came over just about once a week, and before we get into the studio, those guys exercise, and they exercise in this bus and freestyling. That's freestyling on them, you know, off the head.
Okay.
And I'll
getting sharp. Them, they're getting sharp and ready.
Getting sharp, and I'm playing them shit now. I'm just blowing their heads, and they going in. Oh man, well, let's record that. Let's record that. There we go. There we go.
So is Torian on the hook on this one with Meezy, or is he rapping a verse?
Meezy's on the hook.
That's what's up. I like that switch up, because you had Torian on the hook before.
Yeah.
He spit a verse on that all cap though, didn't he? He did.
Yeah,
right?
he's on
the second verse, right?
Second verse, yeah.
But you know, Meezy, I really like Meezy. If I was gonna tell someone out of town what he sounded like, to me he's a mixture of Dom Kennedy, Nipsey Hussle, and like something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like his lyricism. To me, he reminds me of a young Doe. You know what I mean? Where you don't know where he's about to go with this rhyme. He might, like, to you in your mind, you're like, okay, I see. But then he hits you with a surprise word that's like, okay, I didn't see that. I didn't see you going there.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, there's a very creative cleverness to his rhymes.
Yeah. When I sent them to the beat, they was like, you crazy. You crazy. And they would say, watch this, right? And then when they sent it back, murdered it is all they said, murdered it. Bars. That's it. So I already knew it was hot. So yeah, people gonna like that. They gonna like that.
Now, I got a question for you, because as someone who, I've seen you kind of go through 3 or 4 eras. You went through the late 90s era, the 2000 era, and this, 2010 era, right? Like, what's the difference between like making what's trendy and what's just classic good music? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you have to cater to what they're playing now on the radio, or do you just try to make music based on what you feel is good?
I basically make stuff that I like to hear. Sometimes I'll try to make what's hot, but most of the time it's what I like to hear. And if people gravitate to it, then it's great. But that's really what I make, man.
No doubt. No doubt. Because I think like when you're trying, like a lot of artists, I feel like they do stuff like the pants don't fit them. Like you'll hear them on a song trying to sound like it's new, but it doesn't fit, and you're like, wow. And I feel like, you know, young artists got to hear this, that it's okay to kind of be who you want to be and make the music you want to, because the fans will find you. And the people who will support you are going to support you. Like, has that happened in your career where you felt like this don't fit, and then you put the song out and people are like, what's this? Or have you always just put out what you felt was right?
It's been times where throughout my career, people just haven't kept following the movement. You know what I'm saying? The movement fell off for them, but I kept moving.
Right.
You know? And now they're catching back up, and maybe
like, damn, you still doing it?
Yeah. And it's like I'm to the point where I'm not really rapping no more. This is what I want to do. I just want to produce. I just want to make beats. I just want to help other artists.
It seems like a natural progression, though. I feel like watching from the exterior, it seemed like a natural progression. Like you kind of, with that last project you did with the fucking comic book cover.
Yeah,
remember?
The Slap Man.
Yeah, Slap Man. Right. I feel like you could almost hear you saying like, all right, this is the last thing I'm kind of.
It's the exit. Yeah, that was the last album. That was the last album. That was me saying I'm good with where I'm at.
Now, what is that catalog? What does that say to young people though? Because like I feel like every young person who has some talent wants to rap, but there's not enough people who want to produce or do licensing or be the videographer or be the distribution manager. Like, do you think that maybe everybody shouldn't rap, or are you of the like opinion that if you feel like rapping, just rap?
I mean, you gotta find out if you good or not. It's just like with anything. If you can ball, you can ball. If you can't ball with the big boys, you can't be on the court with them.
No doubt.
So I went from, I was forced to produce that one time. When I was making my first album, I didn't have enough money for the last couple of songs. We had 10 songs or so. I had to fill in the gaps. I went and bought a keyboard and I started playing around with the keyboard and I made a couple songs.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So
well, creators create. So you were like, I'm not waiting. I'll get a fucking tape recorder and a fucking bucket and some drums if I got to.
Yeah, man. and I've been through a little bit of everything. Just like you said, I'm very, very creative. So I went from making music to trying to get into the movie era, how to learn to write scripts and how to make movies.
Shout out Grit City.
Grit City.
Shout out Grit City. The bullet shots are still cracking me up today.
Yeah,
when I see the little spark in the movie, I can't.
That was straight low budget, man. That was low
but for no budget, man. Like, I know some people will watch that and go, but like, it takes a lot of creativity to get these scenes done when you have no money and you just doing it Wild Wild West style. So
yeah, man.
That's just to me, that's a tribute to creativity of your team.
And Tone, just so you know how hard I work and how creative I am, there were scenes in the movie where I had to rewrite on the spot. I had to rewrite scenes. And
it just didn't work. It didn't work.
One of the actors dropped out. Just said they didn't want to do it no more.
You got to write him out.
Yeah, I had to write him out. And luckily, we ended at a portion where we could write him out, and I could write some other shit just to put in.
You know what, though? Low key, I love that shit. It reminds me of Master P on Bout It, but like that shit.
Yeah, man. That's straight gutter, man. That's straight gorilla.
No doubt.
You've seen Euphoria too, right?
Yeah. Euphoria, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. The webisode, man. We did the webisode, man. And top of the box, man. I done been through all the phases as a video host. You know what I'm saying?
Different hats. You gotta put different hats on.
I bring all the same guys. I know everybody in the city. So I bring these guys to my house, and I will interview them and put them in the booth and rap. I mean, I did it all for the city, man.
No doubt. So it's Nyke Nitti on the SlappTellEm 2, no games, right?
Yeah.
Tell us, so Tarian and Ameezy, So what else? Who else you got that people like? What other tracks are you really excited to see the response from?
Oh, I got a track with Young Doe, Twiz Loc, and Tux the Go Boy called
Oh
Talking
shit, he
Big.
got Tux out of retirement. Hold
Oh
up,
yeah.
I gotta drop one of Clue's bombs to that. I was just I was just with him the other day, and I said, you know who stole your whole style? Rest in peace. Was Pop? What's his name? Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Have you heard him?
Uh-huh.
Okay, he sound like Tux, not lyrically, but like the.
Yeah, the
I
boy's
was
nasty.
I
Yeah.
said, Tux, this dude stole your whole style, bro. You know, I can't wait to hear that. So Young Doe, Twiz Loc, and Uncle Tux. I'm gonna call him Tux because he ain't no Go Boy no more. That's Uncle Tux, our network. You know, I'm gonna actually send him this video, so you might see this shit on our network, people.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Get it out there, get the word out, man. I got another hot joint with TC Crook and my boy Never Seen called
Okay.
Aurora shit. That shit go dumb too.
Who do you think? I feel like Never Seen is one of the young dudes that nobody, like, not nobody, because if you in the turf, if you running around like neighborhood, if you go into black events, then you know about Never Seen. But if you not in the scene, you only know about like Ray Reed, Trev Rich,
Yeah.
Priest, couple guys. But Never Seen, Ram Steez, Tana Ten Keys. There's a few guys that when I say these are the next guys that hit me, and Never Seen's one of them. Like, who do you think? Like, you know, what do you think about that? Like, you think there's Never Seen? Like, who else comes to your mind?
Oh, as far as guys on the come up,
Yeah. The next guys.
it's a few guys out there that I heard. You ever heard of a guy named Chuck T?
Chuck T, no.
Chuck T.
Send me something. Send me something. Put me on.
He's on Disc 3. I got a song with him, 5280 Mystic.
Okay.
And Flo Garvey called My Dogs. That's
Garvey.
probably gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next video for Disc 3.
Stay Flo Garvey. He crispy.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. So wait till you hear that. That shit's hard too, man. So Chuck T, shout out to him.
Chuck T.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else? Tell us about someone else you got that's on a project. So you got Never Seen. Chuck T's on one. Who else is new, or are you anxious to see what people feel like?
Well, maybe this joint that I got with Vamp, man, because Vamp been away from the game for a long time.
No doubt.
So I'm anxious to see how people gonna take his record.
I'm interested in that because not everybody translates after they stay away a while. So I want to see if he sounds updated or if he sounds like his old self or how it sounds. So I'm interested in that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
So other than the first song, No Games, do you have plans to shoot any other videos?
Well, the Cuddy Bang video is already out. That came out before No Games. So the Cuddy Bang, Keep Calling. That's the first video, and No Games is the second.
Okay. After this interview, I'm going to play the Cuddy Bang video for anyone who wants to stick around and watch it. And we'll put that out together so that people can go right after and watch that thing.
Definitely.
Let me ask you something else. So, you know, with as far as like, because I think that people don't realize how much the game has changed, right? So how do you how do you see it as far as like when you came up, this is how you get on, and now trying to get new fans onto your music? Like, what is your greatest obstacle that you think you run into trying to find new fans?
Shit, I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, most people in rap, they always stuck on the age bracket, like why he's still doing this, and he's over 40 plus and this and that, you know. So that's like a stigma already. But I do the shit for fun, if I'm gonna make money or not. So I just put out quality material because that's what I'm gonna do anyway.
You feel like that relieves the tension or any type of pressure that you might put on yourself when you're like, look, we doing this.
Yeah, regardless,
Just-
regardless. Yeah, that it does relieve the tension because I ain't really got an answer to nobody. I know you're gonna have your opinion of whether you like it or not, but to me, it's some of the best music that I'd have made is this Nyke Nitti on the Slap Tell 'Em.
That's what's up. So let's talk outside of Denver. You know, it could be national, it could be regional. If there's a couple artists that you would like to work with that you feel your style fits with, who would you try to team up with? That's maybe not from Colorado, but like, you know, like I like what this dude's doing.
Far as not too major like a Mozzie or maybe a Filthy Rich or maybe Neff the Pharaoh.
Neff the Pharaoh, no, yeah, he nice. He nice. I hear you with this dude Toby out of Texas, out of Houston, Toby Nagawe, or man, I don't know how to say his last name. You know what I'm talking about?
I never heard him.
What?
No.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like Larry June too. Like
Larry June, I hear you with that too.
Yeah.
Rich the Kid. I see that. So Toby, you gotta hear him. I don't know how to say his last name. Toby Nigwe, Nwigwe. He's got a song with Paul Wall. He's really popping. He basically had his wife. He has two wives. He's from Houston, but he had his wife braid his hair every Friday, and every Friday he did a freestyle like for like a year, and he just started popping. Go look him up. I think you would sound great with him. You know what I'm saying? But we can't wait. So June 10th, right? So if they're watching this video, it's already out. Go on Spotify, go on Apple, go on that. It's Nyke Nitti on the Slap Tell'em, no games. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout.
We released the teaser, so the teaser is out right now. So
okay.
That.
And then you said you got other projects that have not been released yet, but they're on the way. So you know, Nyke Nitti in the streets, and he's gonna be flooding. So if you listening to this and you want to get a beat from Nyke Nitti, tell them where to go or how to contact you as quickly as possible.
Best way to hit me is on Instagram. Instagram is where it's been working for me. So I just tell everybody to hit me up on Instagram, Nyke Nitti. That's it, NYKENITTI. No doubt. On Instagram. That's the best way. Just hit me send me a DM.
Yes, sir. And that's perfect timing because my champagne is gone. So
my beer gone too, bro.
So cheers to that. And you know, if you haven't seen the logo and the Nuggets hat, you know what it is. Colorado putting on. And don't fuck with us. Straight checking records. Your boy Ontoneyo. Respect the underground. Thanks for chopping it up with us, Nyke. And we can't wait to hear this shit, bro.
Word up. June 10th, man. Y'all check it out.
All right, bro. Peace. Stay up. Yeah. So I stopped it.